So while we all patiently or not so patiently await Nintendo to reveal to us what is next when it comes to their next generation of console hardware, there is no doubt a ton of different stories flying around online and gaining steam and traction, suggesting that we may know certain features that are now going to be a part of this console, in addition to some unannounced games that may have been leaked early online. And while some of the validity around the games can absolutely be debated, and we will deep dive that in this video, I do think that it stands to reason with where we are at in the Nintendo Switch's life cycle that things are definitely going to be ramping up behind the scenes in terms of next generation game development. And so you do have to keep some of that in mind with a couple of the stories we will be talking about today, because if we are to believe all of the credible reports from sources like VGC and Eurogamer that say that Nintendo has been showing off behind the scenes Switch 2 dev kits to developers, it is to prep and get these developers ready for what this console hardware can do so they can actually start to develop games for the next gen platform. Because when you launch a platform, you want to have a solid lineup of games. You want developers to have a good understanding of the hardware and the tricks and tools that they can utilize to get game performance up to a certain level of quality, with things like the rumored DLSS that I fully believe will be in the next generation Nintendo console. The most notable rumblings was that at Gamescom 2023, those dev kits were being shown behind closed doors. I think we'll also get some updated information sometime soon from a showcase like Tokyo Game Show that was going on over this past weekend. But to first tackle the couple games that could have potentially leaked for next generation Nintendo Switch hardware, not talking about Baldur's Gate 3, we talked about that in a different video. There may or may not be something going on with that title in particular for next generation hardware. The only reason people are coming to that conclusion is because a Nintendo employee is credited under the special thanks section, and he has a track record of working on getting third-party titles brought over to Nintendo hardware, and so maybe there's something going on there, maybe there's not. And the first source we have to discuss is over on X. As you can see, the following post from Nash Weedle, which we will get into his track record in just a second, where his post translates to Leak Express, change of course for the Yakuza series. Although producer Masayoshi Yokoyami, I probably completely messed it up, stated that the Yakuza saga clashes with the image of Switch in Japan, they will be released for the next generation Nintendo console. A bundle will be revealed with the launch of the console. Now, he's referencing some comments where the series producer, when asked about Yakuza games potentially coming to Nintendo hardware, that he felt like the series, because of its more mature nature, didn't fit with the Nintendo Switch audience, which it's like, have you seen the games that are on the eShop? I don't know if he doesn't understand that there are plenty of games that are far worse and more revealing than Yakuza games when it comes to adult humor and adult content, but maybe he did some browsing through the eShop and changed his stance on that, or he very well could have been giving a more PR statement of they're not able to reveal that those games are in the works, and they're kind of trying to throw any speculation out the window until they're ready to officially unveil it. And the thing about Nash Weedle is while there have been some accurate leaks from this account, it's also not the most reliable in my personal opinion. If I'm not mistaken, this person said that we were going to get a new Mario game alongside the Mario movie, and clearly we didn't see that happen. To his benefit, he did get the name of Metroid Dread, and I think even some kind of exact timing around it prior to its official reveal, but it's definitely one of the more spotty accounts. And I just think, cool, if the Yakuza games make it over to the Nintendo Switch 2 console, great. They're not exactly up my alley, or I guess I shouldn't say that. I haven't really given them a fair chance myself to see if they are up my alley, but I may check them out on next gen hardware, providing we do see them come over. But this is by no means a confirmation that those games will come over in a bundle pack, but this is yet another account and leak we can kind of put on the back burner and see if it's accurate when we do indeed see the launch date of the Nintendo Switch 2, or whatever Nintendo ends up calling it, revealed to us, and we'll know if this bundle rumor / leak is accurate or not. Now, the other game in question is a much smaller project and one you've probably never heard of before, and that's also where you have to put a big asterisk with the idea of whether or not this game is for sure headed to the Nintendo Switch, or if this is maybe just the developer's aspirations to one day bring it to the console. You have the following X post in question from Revo Gamers, which reads, Tamarindo's Freaking Dinner, the next from @Celery Emblem, responsible for the brilliant Baobab's Mausoleum, will come to Nintendo Switch and also its successor, as its creator has confirmed to us. Now you then have Jake from Game Explain replying to this saying, "Hello, Jake from Game Explain here. I just want to confirm, did the developer really mention the Nintendo Switch successor ? And then the developer themselves responded to this saying yes. Now you could just take this at face value and say that that's our first official Nintendo Switch 2 game confirmation, and next generation Nintendo Switch will have this game on it. We have it straight from the developer's mouth themselves, but then you have to question the size of this particular developer and the kind of projects they are a part of, because this is not some kind of Activision Blizzard EA level publisher developer where they probably have access to the very first round of Switch development kits. This is much more on the indie focused side of game development, and I think there's probably a lot of debate on whether or not Nintendo is allowing their dev kits to go out to just anybody that wants them. I do fully believe that the developer may have all of the intention in the world to bring it to next generation Switch hardware, but whether or not he has currently in his possession a Nintendo Switch 2 dev kit that he's actively building this game for, that is up for debate online, and that's where I think you can't officially say that this is going to for sure be a Nintendo Switch 2 game, although I do think it will happen because I think the dev is going to bring it to the hardware. But again, it doesn't confirm that right now this person is actively developing it for next generation hardware with a dev kit in hand. Now, in terms of the new feature that may have been leaked from Nintendo themselves due to a Nintendo of America job listing, has to do with HDR technology, most likely being headed to the next generation Nintendo Switch. I think that that's definitely something that makes sense. It is something that the other current generation consoles offer, being the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S. And while some games utilize it better than others, and some TVs utilize it better than others, and some TVs don't utilize it at all still, most of the modern TVs you pick up nowadays do support HDR, and so this makes a lot of sense for Nintendo to bring it to the console just because it's a more industry standard feature nowadays. But full credit to Doctray81, who does a lot of deep dives over on YouTube. I'll have his channel linked in the description down below. He found that on the Nintendo of America careers website, there is a contract engineer display technology and development, which when you read through the details of the job listing, it sounds like it directly references HDR technology. And I think if we're going to see things like DLSS in this next gen console and it have a much more modern GPU, whatever Nintendo and Nvidia have cooked up for this thing, maybe the T239, that seems to be the rumored chip inside of the supposed next hardware, I think it stands to reason that HDR is going to be a feature, and that's just a good news confirmation, not anything game-changing or mind-blowing. And I definitely think that out of all the tech, DLSS being 3.1 or 3.5 is definitely the most exciting new addition when it comes to hardware level features. But we now know to expect another modern day enhancement, which will be HDR. So I think that that's all very exciting stuff. Expect more and more rumblings for next generation Nintendo Switch hardware leaks as we get closer to its ultimate reveal and launch date from Nintendo, because that's just the season we're in within the Nintendo Switch's life cycle. But I really want to hear from you guys at this point in the video, your personal thoughts and opinions on whether or not we're going to see either of these rumored / leaked games show up on next generation hardware, or do you think that this is likely a nothing burger when it comes to the information that's being provided here with these games? And let me know which technical features you would be most excited to see included in the next generation Nintendo hardware. Do you think DLSS is going to be a game changer for high resolution? And do you think that, yes, indeed, we should expect HDR following this most recent Nintendo of America job listing? But regardless of your thoughts and feelings on everything we talked about today, I do look forward to hearing from you all in the comments down below before you leave the video, as I do look forward to getting a back and forth conversation started with you all around these topics. Go watch yesterday's video next if you haven't already, which is on screen right now. Also make sure you like, subscribe, turn on your notification bell, and I will see you guys in the next video.